let's get into this. Top-ranked cornerback Travis Hunter announced that he will decommit from Florida State and sign with Jackson State. Retired NFL star, Football Hall of Famer Deion Sanders is the head coach. Dun, dun, dun. And he pulled from, isn't Florida State his alma mater?
It is. That's big news. Hunter was the.
I've been, before you get into it, Ed, the first thing you said was that's big news. And I thought it was good news. I didn't quite grasp the bigness of it, though, because there have been some Black athletes who have committed to historically Black colleges, and it has not gone well for them. So what makes this particular situation as big as everyone's making it? They're calling it historical. They're calling it monumental. Why? Why so, Ed?
Well, football in particular is one of those sports. I think we've seen, some high-profile athletes go on the basketball route. I think Howard had one a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Basketball, you can do 1 year and go. Football, you're going to need to stay for a couple of years before you jump. But when you start looking at the top tier of high school athletes and where they're looking to go, that top 100 that comes out is really looking at a pro career. I mean, they're in position to go pro. And so the choice of university where they go is usually something that is going to further their options. And so when you see a talent, especially one thought to be the best in the land, forego Alabama, the Clemsons, the USCs to go to Jackson State, it says, one, a lot about what Deion has built there as a program, the coaches, and two, his ability to convince high school parents that the parents or the high school recruit that they have a viable option to the NFL. And that's what's game changing, because there have been HBCU talent that's made it to the NFL.
Yeah.
But I think what you're seeing now is that an HBCU can take top tier high school talent and put it in the NFL. And that's what we look to see there.
But can they?
That's the game changer.
Can they take it if Deion Sanders is not their coach?
Well, is it fair? I don't think it's fair to say that recruits have gone to HBCUs and it hasn't gone well for them. Yeah, there's been some that hasn't gone well. Others have done just fine. I think that the press tends to highlight the narrative of the failures in the HBCU system. I think it's big. Yeah, maybe every HBCU needs a Deion Sanders, and that might not be possible. But the idea of Black talent going to historically Black colleges and universities, as Ed says, top tier talent, we're talking about potentially billions of dollars in revenue that these universities get from their TV rights and all of the hoopla surrounding the sport. If some of this Black talent will go to Black universities and colleges, that would be a huge benefit in terms of recycling Black dollars. And I think it's something that I would love to see more of.
Well, I've always said this on the show, that I've said two things on the show that I stand by. If more Black people got involved in the NRA, gun control would happen. And also, if more Black students who are athletes, those top 100 that you speak of, Ed, chose historically Black colleges and universities, but they just don't. And it's because of where we come from, the areas, the neighborhoods that we come from, and we can't quite see those HBCUs taking us in that direction, in the pro direction, like when you go to the PWIs. Let's face it, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, and I totally understand that, but I think if more Black athletes were to do this, I think it would have a more positive effect, and it may even help to increase their chances that they do make it pro. I mean, Jamel Hill wrote an article about this a couple of years ago, and she received some flack for it, but I don't agree with her on much, but I agreed with her on this. And she was saying more Black athletes, especially the ones who are more talented, should start going to HBCUs, because it would bring, like Dominique said, it would bring billions of dollars of revenue. We already know that a lot of HBCUs do struggle financially. And to me, as a conservative, this is a free market principle. Like, you take your talents to the institution that you want to help and benefit from. So I think it's a great idea. I'm not really into sports, but I would like to see more of this.
I think we all agree that we'd like to see more of it, but it would have to happen in time, obviously. And right. I think that's a harder pill to swallow. Alicia?
Yeah, this is a game changer, and I'm glad it's happening. You don't have to go to a PWI to make it into the pros. If you're greatness, they'll find you. There's been undrafted players that have made it in the NFL, and one of the baddest players that we had at the then time was called the Washington Redskins was our quarterback Doug Williams, and from Grambling State, first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl. So you can go to HBCUs and win a Super Bowl. We've just been conditioned to think that white is better, white ice is colder. We are learning that there's other ways to do this, and Deion just changed the game. And yeah, I'm just excited. In a world of Urban Meyers, be a Deion Sanders.